Welcome back to Billionaire Mindset, the channel that dives into the world of the ultra-wealthy and explores their incredible stories. Today, we're about to unravel one of the most shocking tales of deception in human history. So buckle up and get ready for the mind-boggling story of Bernie Madoff and his epic Ponzi scheme. Picture this, folks, Bernie Madoff, a man with the Midas touch, the king of Wall Street. He had it all, a mystic aura, visionary skills, and a confidence that could make even the most stoic investor weak at the knees. He was the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop. But behind that polished facade lurked the mind of a master con artist. Bernie Madoff, the ultimate financial illusionist, built an empire that seemed invincible. His investment firm was a fortress, guarded by a select few who had earned the golden ticket to invest their money with him. It was an exclusive club where you couldn't just waltz in with your wallet. Oh no, my friends, you had to know someone, be vouched for, and earn the right to have your hard-earned cash accepted by the great Madoff himself. With his suave charm and unparalleled track record, Madoff had the world eating out of his hand. He even served as the chairman of the Nasdaq, a position of immense respect in the financial world. But little did anyone know that behind those walls of success, a sinister game was being played. Enter Harry Markopolos, a financial fraud investigator who stumbled upon something fishy while trying to replicate Madoff's trading strategy. It took him a mere 5 minutes to realize that something was awry. Madoff's investment returns were as consistent as the sunrise, regardless of market conditions. Either Madoff had insider information, or he was pulling off the grandest of Ponzi schemes. Now, for those of you not familiar with a Ponzi scheme, let's break it down. It's like a magic trick, my friends. Investors hand over their hard-earned cash to the magician, expecting fantastic returns. But here's the catch, the magician isn't actually making any real investments. Instead, he's using new investors' money to pay off older investors, creating a house of cards that's destined to collapse. And oh boy, did Madoff's house of cards come crashing down. When the dust settled, it was revealed that he had swindled a mind-boggling $64.8 billion from unsuspecting victims. That's enough money to buy not just one, but several private islands in the Caribbean. Talk about living the high life. Madoff's scheme was so massive that it sent shockwaves through the financial world. The biggest names in finance had been duped, their pockets emptied. From billionaires to everyday folks relying on their pensions, everyone fell victim to Madoff's elaborate scam. But how did Madoff manage to fool the sharpest minds on Wall Street for so long? Well, my friends, it's all about the art of deception. Madoff knew how to spin a web of lies so convincing that even the most astute individuals were left mesmerized. After all, money has a funny way of blurring one's vision, doesn't it? As the saying goes, when something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. But in the case of Madoff, it seemed too good to be true and yet was true. The allure of obscene wealth and luxurious lifestyles blinded many to the reality that Madoff was simply playing a game of smoke and mirrors. But wait, there's more to the story. You won't believe what happened next. So, picture this, while Madoff was orchestrating his grand deception, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the watchdog responsible for protecting investors, was seemingly oblivious to the whole charade. Now, you might be thinking, how on earth did the SEC miss such a monumental fraud? Well, my friends, it's a tale of missed opportunities and failed investigations. The SEC had received multiple tips and red flags over the years, but somehow the evidence slipped through their fingers like sand. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, they say. But in this case, it was more like looking for a haystack in a field of needles. The sheer complexity of Madoff's scheme, coupled with his impeccable reputation, made it incredibly challenging to uncover the truth. The SEC conducted several investigations into Madoff's operations, but each time they came up empty-handed. It was as if Madoff had built an impenetrable fortress around himself, shielding his fraudulent activities from prying eyes. Now, I must admit, it's quite ironic that the agency tasked with safeguarding investors' interests couldn't find a shred of evidence against one of the biggest fraudsters in history. It's like trying to catch a glimpse of a unicorn. You can search high and low, but if it doesn't want to be found, it won't be. Some argue that the SEC's lackluster performance was due to a combination of incompetence and a failure to connect the dots. It's like having all the puzzle pieces but not realizing they fit together to reveal the bigger picture. Oh, the irony of it all. And let's not forget the good old too big to fail syndrome. Madoff was a prominent figure in the financial world, hobnobbing with the elite. It's no secret that power and influence can sometimes cloud judgment, making it difficult to see what's right under your nose. So, while the SEC may have stumbled and fallen short in their pursuit of Madoff, it serves as a stark reminder that even the most robust regulatory bodies can have their blind spots. It's a cautionary tale for us all to remain vigilant and question everything, even those in positions of authority. Now, let's fast forward to the aftermath of Bernie Madoff's stunning confession. The truth had finally come to light, and the repercussions were felt far and wide. As you can imagine, the fallout from the Ponzi scheme was catastrophic. Madoff's empire crumbled, leaving a trail of shattered lives and broken dreams in its wake. The $64.8 billion he had swindled from unsuspecting investors had evaporated into thin air, like a magician's disappearing act. But what about Madoff himself? Well, my friends, he didn't escape the long arm of the law. In 2009, Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison. That's right, he would spend the rest of his days behind bars, contemplating the consequences of his greed-fueled actions. And it wasn't just Bernie who faced the repercussions. His family, too, was caught in the storm. His sons, Mark and Andrew, who had worked alongside their father, found themselves entangled in the web of deceit. Tragically, Mark couldn't bear the weight of his father's crimes and took his own life. A heart-wrenching reminder of the devastating impact this fraud had on those closest to Madoff. As for Madoff's wife, Ruth, she faced her own personal battles. The once glamorous lifestyle they had enjoyed was now a distant memory. The weight of the scandal and the scorn of the public took its toll on her as well. Their lavish existence had crumbled, leaving behind a shattered fairy tale. Now, you might be wondering, what about the money that was stolen? Will the victims ever see justice? Well, my friends, the road to recovery has been long and arduous. A court-appointed trustee worked tirelessly to recover as much money as possible to compensate the victims. But the reality is, many never fully recoup their losses. It serves as a harsh reminder that the pursuit of wealth and luxury can sometimes lead to ruin, not just for the perpetrators but for innocent victims as well. So, let Madoff's downfall be a lesson to us all. Let us strive for success with integrity and ethical practices, rather than chasing empty promises of quick riches. And that, my friends, is the cautionary tale of Bernie Madoff, the man who thought he could outsmart the world. As the saying goes, money can't buy happiness, and in Madoff's case, it certainly couldn't buy him freedom. Now, my friends, let's take a moment to reflect on the lessons we can learn from this astonishing story. Remember, no amount of money can buy trust. Always exercise caution when dealing with investments that promise sky-high returns. And most importantly, never let the allure of wealth cloud your judgment. As they say, it's better to have a little of something than a lot of nothing. That's all for today's episode of Billionaire Mindset. But before we go, I've got a special treat for you. If you're as fascinated by wealth as I am, then you'll love our next video on the top 12 most expensive Lamborghinis in history. Buckle up and get ready for some serious horsepower. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and join us for the ride. Remember, my fellow dreamers, wealth is not just about money, it's a state of mind. So keep dreaming big and stay tuned for more captivating stories of wealth, power, and everything in between. Until next time, this is Billionaire Mindset, signing off.